Hey guys, it's Wexdarn here and welcome back to Let's Play Super Smash Bros. In this part we're taking on the second bonus stage, boarding the platforms. In my opinion, it's a bit harder than the first bonus, but still doable, so here we go again with Mario first. Once again, Mario's taken on like the Donkey Kong style motifs for things, but it's a bit more dangerous because if you touch that fire stuff then you will get injured and you will get flung about, so you're going to want to avoid that. But Mario's one, very straightforward, very linear, just have to go in a big loop. Not every board platforms is like this, and I wish more were, but oh well, nearly at the last one. But I think the main problem with board the platforms is that this game is primarily a fighting game first and platforming second, so basing minigames around platforming is kind of awkward. Okay guys, second up is Donkey Kong again. As you can see, he's maintained the Donkey Kong arcade aesthetic like Mario did, and his stage is pretty linear as well, much like Mario's was, but in fact, his stage is very similar to Mario's in a lot of regards, including the molten hot metal stuff. I was aiming to avoid, but didn't, and let's see. I just don't think that's far enough. I just don't think it gave me enough distance to work with then. I just jump down here, and another long jump basically to a new platform. New record. Okay, so here we are with Link's board the platform stage. I generally think this is where the game starts to show off its awkwardness, in that number one, Link has to choose which platform he goes to, otherwise he gets stuck, and number two, some of the jumps are pretty tricky to make, and you can see what I meant earlier by saying that this game is a fighting game first and platforming second. It wasn't built for stuff like this. I mean, yeah, it tests off your skills with using the characters, but it's not made to do platforming challenges and puzzles. Like right here, this last jump can be a pretty tricky one, but luckily I made it. Okay, so Samus's stage. This is another one that can be a bit awkward, to be honest. There's no like set path you have to take necessarily, but I'm just showing you what I consider one of the quicker paths, even though I did mess up there. We want to hit that target first, and then jump when you think you're about to fall off screen, so you can just barely stay on. You're mostly jumping for distance rather than height. With these platforms it can get pretty awkward, like you just have to basically land on one so you can get another jump, because as soon as you make contact with a platform you can jump again, so you're going to want to take advantage of that fact. Now there's actually two of these floating platforms like going around in sequence, so don't move until you hit both of them, like that. And you just grab this one in the top left corner. Right here with the two bumpers, do not try walking through the bumpers, you'll just get bounced around. What you want to do is use your shield on L or R and then just like roll underneath them using the control stick. It can be a bit awkward to get it going, but yeah, dodging like that's very useful as Samus gets incredibly tiny. Alright, on to the next stage. Okay guys, so here we are boarding platforms with the one character who doesn't have a third jump. So, Yoshi. His stage is pretty awkward, to be honest. Right here you've got to wait for the platform to come, and then as soon as you see it, hold down so you can fall down faster and catch up with it. Which is pretty awkward within it itself, but at this point you really want to like just keep bouncing from platform to platform to just keep Yoshi going, rather than aiming for something, and that is the most annoying thing about Yoshi's stage. You can actually fall through or jump through the floor of the first area that you're at, so yeah, you have to go all the way around it again if you want to get that last platform. God damn it! So yeah, back around again, because I'm leaving this in just to show off the frustration that this can actually cause from this. That's something that can legitimately happen. You can just go back through the floor, but it's a one-way thing, so you can't fall through to pick it back up. Anyway, just get over there. Right, so third time's the charm, I guess. It's a terrible time for Yoshi, but I don't care. Just want to get finished. And there. Hey guys, it's Wexdarn here, and welcome to Kirby's platforming stage. Kirby's pretty good at this. He's got a stone move to cut through all the bumpers. He's got multiple jumps. Unlike Yoshi, he's got to hold down to fall faster. Because you know that works, you can will yourself for gravity to take you somewhere faster. Anyway, down here, and use Kirby's jump, but use it like when you're right at the edge. So Kirby's got less space that he has to move, and then you can make the jump a lot easier. So yeah, that's one thing to bear in mind. 3, 4, 5, and then jump. Like, Kirby's got a max of 5 jumps really, so make the most of them. And I got a new record. Welcome to Fox's platforming stage, which is arguably one of the more trickier ones, simply because Fox is kind of slippery in this game. Or at least he is in my opinion. His attacks aren't like... Well, I want to say his movements kind of don't feel like a mirror of what you're doing for it, so it's kind of difficult to pull off some of the platforming with Fox. Because sometimes he controls how you want them, sometimes he'll just fall around all over the place. And anyway, Fox's stage, its main difficulty comes from being right at the end here. Like, once you've made that jump, you've got to quickly make it onto a platform without the bumper messing you up, and then you've got to make it onto this top one. Apparently I did that well. Pikachu's platform, it is not a hard level really. It's pretty straightforward again, like some of the early ones I showed off, so yeah, the main difficulty is going to come at the end, where you better have been practicing how to use Pikachu's quick attack, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of difficulty with that. I think there's only one platform in this bit, yeah there is. So just quickly jump from platform to platform, and yeah, that's Pikachu. You have Luigi's platform stage, and he isn't that bad to be honest in this. Although I've commented in the past that he controls a bit worse than Mario does, his platforming stage isn't too bad at all. It's just, most of the frustration for this will come from Luigi's up special move because of the angle that he actually jumps with it. Like, you have to factor that in when grabbing that platform. So yeah, that's where most of your frustration will come from with this. The last bit here is just kind of, it's a pretty high jump. You want to time it really well. So get that, and the last platform's at the very top of the stage, so again it's a high jump, you have to time well getting from platform to platform. The easiest time to do it is when they're at their most extended, because then it's almost flat jumping. Jigglypuff's platform boarding is kind of annoying. You might have noticed Jigglypuff is one of the more lightweight characters and can be knocked around pretty easily. And this stage is no exception with the amount of bumpers that are randomly knocking around in one of the rooms here. In this room in particular, you've got one very fast bumper as well as several slower ones, and I just want to land on this platform. No, I want to go back up. No, let me back up. Game! Game, let me back up! Jigglypuff just gets pelted around everywhere. I mean, sometimes, if you're very lucky, the bumpers will actually assist you getting up. And now the audience is actually complimenting the bumpers for teamwork. It's like, and that time the bumper lifted me up slightly, only to knock me back down. So, yeah, that's where a lot of Jigglypuff's frustrations come from, is being knocked around. And also the last platform, if I just land on the second to last one, there you go, is one of these ones where you have to jump and pound, and just get across like that. So, that's okay. Nessa's stage isn't too difficult. The main, like, challenge from it, I guess, is the fact that some parts will require you to use the PK Thunder jump to actually get places. So, yeah, you've got to practice that a little bit before coming here, and that particular ramp there is where I find it most difficult to use PK Thunder, to be honest, because you have to get yourself at the angle to go up rather than straight up, and a lot of the times when you're recovering you've been trying to go straight up. One of the tips I can give you here is to jump as high as you can and try to get yourself onto the roof of the platform. I barely missed it, but if you do it, it's a lot easier to grab this last platform. But anyway, I'm going to try getting it the way that the game intends you to. I did pretty well. And here we are, best to last, Captain Falcon. His main difficulty comes from the fact that I think the arrows are actually pointing you in the direction that's not easiest to do this in. I actually think the best way to do this is to jump down here, grab the two platforms that are floating around here, and then to jump underneath the stage and go the opposite way of what the game is telling you, because in all honesty it's easier to platform like this. Because otherwise you've got to make a very awkward jump like underneath the platform the other way, which is more difficult to do. I found it's more difficult to go from left to right than it is right to left with that bit of jumping. So, don't know about you guys, but that's my personal preference. And yeah, stage over. And well, that's about it for the two bonus stages, but I can show you what you actually unlock for them. For beating the two practice modes, well, the two practice bonus modes with every character, you unlock in the data section a sound test. So you can play pretty much any bit of music from here. Any sound effects that you want, so any voice clips in the game.
Here we go!
You can probably find some that aren't used that much in the game, so that'd be kind of interesting. And one thing I haven't shown off, but I didn't really find an appropriate place for it, so I'm just going to throw it in here, is in the data section, as well as having a versus record, and I'm going to show off versus mode in the next episode. But you have this character section that gives you sort of backstories and details over every character that you have in the game. I'm just going to flick through them slowly here, but you can pause and read it if you really want to. Like, they show off like their moves with like all the B specials in like the bottom right corner, but they're pretty useful. It's kind of interesting if you don't know anything about the characters themselves, but yeah, my favourite one's actually here with the Pikachu one, simply because it's actually directly from his red and blue Pokédex entries, which is kind of cool. But I'm surprised that they didn't do the same for Jigglypuff, to be honest. But yeah, if you want to read them, then pause the video, read them there, because I'm not reading them out. There's an awful lot of text I'm sure you guys can read, and don't need me to tell you what's going on screen. But yeah, it shows off all the little animations that they've got. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it for this episode, so I guess I'll see you in versus mode next time. See ya.